Hey, YouTube fans. This is Chris Neves the Dream. I want to talk to you about a group of guys that helped me out a lot over the years, especially after I finished high school. Um, Back around the early 2000s, I graduated in 1999, and I couldn't really do any kind of doctor's appointments or physical therapy because my school was in one side of Brooklyn and my care and where I lived was in the other side. I would take off um, one day a week to do physical therapy, and the teacher said, "Look, you're a great student, you participate in class, but you're not here. That's going to go against your grade. I know that you show a lot of effort and you're a great student, but you still need that attendance." And we had a meeting with my grandparents, and my grandparents said, "Look, when you finish high school, you could do whatever you want. You could take the time to take care of yourself." And 1 year turned into two, two turned into three, and on and on and on. But back then, even though I thought it was cool because I was under 18 and under 21, and I was still basically a kid, and it was cool because I had no responsibility. But then, once the summer came and September came, and there was no place to go, I felt like the walls were closing in on me. But I did do something that I never hardly did, which I read a lot and I wrote a lot, which nobody would have ever thought because my manual dexterity is kind of bad. But I wrote a little scrapbook because I was scared. I was intimidated. I always felt like shit compared to my family members. And even my grandfather told me one day, he didn't mean it. I guess he didn't know how to express it. I said, "Compared to me and my brothers and sisters, who's the lucky ones?" He said, "They are, because they didn't get stuck like you. They could walk and stuff." And that still hurts me to this day. I know he didn't mean it like, you know, as a dig, but it still hurt nonetheless. And I just thought from then on that I would do anything possible to be more sociable. Like, I did a lot of stuff in high school. I did sports. I was the first person to break a board in Taekwondo. I was a peer mediator, peer counselor. You know, I just didn't have the social skills. Nobody wanted to know me because of the chair. Girls didn't want to come near me. Girls used me for money and stuff like that. Um, I remember sitting in graduation and I made a speech in front of 15,000 people, and the place went nuts. It was in Madison Square Garden. And as I'm sitting there getting ready to accept my diploma, I'm saying, "Damn, I don't have no memories, good memories to leave here, or good friends that I could say that I had. Only people that use me and fake acquaintances." And I didn't even go to my prom because my grandfather said it was a waste of money because I wasn't getting up and dancing. And, I didn't have a girlfriend and stuff. So, I just had a party at the local pizzeria. I made bank. I made good money. People showed up, but, whatever. It was funny because I have such a big family, and you would think that the party was filled, but in actuality, I invited 30 people and maybe two showed up from my school. So it was kind of sad, but I just thought that I would reinvent myself. A lot of times, I would have one of my aunt's husbands sit me outside. We had one of those stoops with 5 steps. He would sit me outside in November weather, and I would wheel myself back and forth on the sidewalk, hoping to find somebody to talk to. As the years went by and I did so many tests, and joint disease kind of held me up and kind of used me as a guinea pig with the baclofen pump. The baclofen pump was very dangerous. It went under the skin and stuff like that, and you had to be injected through your stomach, and God forbid you couldn't wake up and you was unconscious. They gave my grandfather a special card to go to just in case he couldn't wake me up. The side effects were bad because if they made a mistake on my next dosage, my legs would start to really go into spasms and I would start to break out in like hives and rashes. So there's a lot of times when my grandfather stood up late at night and had to give me it in pill form. Plus, on top of that, the baclofen pump gave you bad migraines and make you throw up. Because it was like a spinal tap. And some of the doctors would look down at my grandfather because he wore jeans and he was a little dark, and they would talk to him like he was the hired help. There's even one doctor that came into the room and he had his back turned to us the whole time. Then he realized he wasn't my doctor, so it was a waste of an appointment. But during all this time, I didn't have friends. I would stay in a house back to back to back. Some of my family members would just come, curse me out, make me feel like shit. And I had no friends, nobody to talk to. I had this notebook with people from school that, I was so desperate that I called 411 to speak to a girl that I used to like, which didn't really matter because she had somebody. There were times when my grandparents, we would get on each other's nerves. I was so irritable because nobody to talk to, and back to back to back days, I would stay in bed and I was getting fatter, and I would just throw the remote control, tear my clothes off because I didn't know what to do, and I told everybody I wanted to die because that's how I felt. Well, in the spring of 2013, after I left joint disease NYU Rusk, I got hooked up with a guy named Victor Calisi and John Henry. My aunts helped me be part of the organization, which I played for the wheelchair softball team. At the time, I wasn't really into sports anymore, even though I did the Olympics and everything. It's just that at that time, I just wanted to be social and make friends. And it was cool. I had a lot of fun with the guys or whatever. And John and Victor was cool, and especially John took a very good liking to me. And, eventually he let me become a volunteer at the office where they borrowed the playground to do the wheelchair softball. And I remember coming into the office and seeing the secretary, and they would call John, and John would say, "Oh, the dream, come on in," It was cool back then because I was just a kid, I was 21 years old. And I'm grateful because ever since that day, John Henry never forgot me. He sends me cards and letters every time. He sends me things for my birthday. He got me a Wii, which I still play, and which I'm not getting rid of because I'm not the type to change systems like that. He got me a signed Hulk Hogan for my birthday. Victor and John even hooked me up with a guy that he knows somebody that works for the WWE who got me an autograph of Hulk Hogan, and it was actually signed to the Dream. I'm very grateful to the guys. I told Henry, I said, please don't ever stop being my friend. He said, I know so many people and I do so many Christmas cards. Believe me, I'm not going to forget you. And I hope you don't, John, and I hope you don't, Vic, because I love you guys dearly. Even though I come from a big family, it's a family divided. And my grandparents are getting old. I don't know how long they're going to be here. I could use another set of brothers. And, Victor, sometimes you talk to me, and I think that maybe I'm not doing good enough. But I hope you see the effort and things that I want to do. Believe me, I don't want to be in the current situation that I'm in any more than you want to see me in it. Trust me, I fought my way out of a lot of things. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I used to just do it on myself. Now I use the urinal and whatever. This was when I was 10 years old. I started teaching myself to write at 8 years old. I started drawing at 8 years old. I started taking off and putting on my clothes, top part of the body, when I was a teenager. You know, I started using the computer when I met you guys. I started getting into sports when I was 14, lifting weights when I was 14. And I took on a life of my own since I was 17, wanting to be more sociable and put my name out there and make sure that people know who I am and know that I'm not just another disabled person, that I'm a person first, just like you are, Vic. And my one goal before I die, besides walking, is to find somebody special. Not necessarily a wife, could be a girlfriend, a mate, whatever. But I just don't want to die a lonely old man, and I don't want to feel useless. I would enjoy having a special woman in my life because I'm very lonely and I don't think much of myself. But please, Vic, don't think that by any means that I'm just sitting back and I'm enjoying anything, because sometimes I don't feel good enough, bro. That's why you get the messages that you get and the texts that you get, because I don't feel like I'm shit. But I hope to you guys that I'm always somebody. Please, John, know that you and Victor are everything to me. Please know that you're my brothers from another mother like no other. Take care of yourself, guys. I love you. And peace and love.